Good evening, folks. I want to talk about La Palma and the island. Now, I've been studying this for over a decade, so it's not like this is something new to me. I knew a currency trader over on that lived on the island, and then I looked at the volcano, and then I checked out the information on it. I said, "Did you know you live on a volcano that the ridge could fall off someday if it erupts?" He says, "Yeah, I know." Okay. So anyway, it wasn't an interest to me because this person was considered a friend. I'm not sure if he's still alive. He was pretty old. Him and his wife lived there. But let's look. There's a bunch of nice stuff here on volcano discovery. A good place to look for stuff. But I want to talk about what I'm looking at, and this is all these earthquakes that have recently happened. Um, they have been getting up to the threes. It's 3.2, 3.1, and there's a 3.6 around here somewhere. Anyway, it was over here on this side right here, but these are all earthquakes that have happened within the last day. Okay? Look at all the earthquakes. And the volcano has been pretty active. I had to turn off the sound on this because it echoed back through my mic when I was doing that. But you can see the volcano is pretty active at the moment. It's really, 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 really active. I mean, it's building a cone, and this is a basalt volcano. And they build great big huge cones, and then they go kaboom. So we see a really huge earthquake, like a 5 or 6 on the island, even a 4. We may see this scenario happen. Now, this is a scientific paper, and there's all kinds of good mathematical formulas for you to look at if you want to do the scientific research on it. But essentially, the southwest part of the island slides off into the Atlantic Ocean. They call this the Comra Veje slide. And basically all this earth just falls into the ocean. Now this is a huge. There's a reason why there's pine trees on this island out in the middle of the ocean. Because it's a mountain. It's not. It's. Well, you can look at the height right here. That's 1 kilometer. Okay. That's how tall this mountain is. It's almost 2 kilometers tall. So that's a lot of land to slide off. And I'll leave the link in this for this research paper in the box below for you. But you can go through the math. But I've found documents all the way back to the 20s and the 40s covering this area of La Palma. And this right here is just talking about some the hazards of tsunamis. Well, let's talk about that. Here's another scientific paper. Now, this is in terms of when you're going to get hit if this thing does slide in the ocean. Now, this is all estimated. It's not, there's a plus and minus to it. But if it's to fall off, anything within this circle right here has 1 hour. 2 hours in this circle, 3 hours in that circle, 4 hours in this circle. Now, you can see England and a lot of the western coastline of Europe is going to be affected. And there's a chance it could backflow into the Mediterranean Sea. So don't discount that. So if you live over like on the tip over here in New York, Massachusetts, basically in the United States, you got about 6 hours. If you're farther out on one of those islands, you got 5 hours. And you go all the way down to Florida, you get about 7, maybe 8 hours to run. Now, a good evacuation protocol and plan should be in your charts. But let me tell you what these numbers mean as far as the time. Now these are just estimated. So there's different tables, but let's look at the table 2, because this has different scenarios for what happens if a certain amount of the ridge slides off. So they have different scenarios for that, for the height of the waves. So we see the ones with 1 hour to get out of the way, 170 meters. Okay? Yeah, that's over a 500-foot wave. 120 meters for 2, 71 for 3, and then you go all the way down to 7 and 8. And this one in a 6, and it goes anywhere from 14 to 3 meters. Now, I've read a lot of papers, and they're guesstimating that if the 7 area could even be as high as 15. I've even seen some that said 40. So 10 to 40 is probably a pretty good range to think about it. And this is what would happen if the wave, if the ridge did fall off and there was a wave. This is how the tsunami would work. So this is where you get that initial slide. Boom, it's gonna, and then you look at the time, and it goes down to 190 meters. Yeah, I said it, 190 meters. So be very aware that they're having a lot more earthquakes now, and they're getting larger. So the possibility of this thing sliding off with a huge earthquake, I'm telling you right now, it is not going to be something you want to double think about. Have your evacuation plans made, your route, how you're going to do it, and have cash and gas on hand so you can get out of town. Take the back roads if you have to, because I'm pretty sure the highways will be jammed if everybody's trying to get off the coast. And your bug out bag, you should have your important paperwork. You can't take your fire safe with you, but there is fire bags that you can put your documents in that keep them from getting wet or burnt in a fire. And they're a lot easier to grab and throw in a bug out bag along with your extra set of clothing, warm clothing, blankets, sleeping bags, food that you can eat without cooking it would be preferable. That's not too heavy to carry. The bug out bag's a whole different situation. You should always have a bug out, or what they call a go bag anyways, and you should always have a plan for evacuation if you have to leave your home. It could be a flood, it could be a fire. You're getting out of the way of a hurricane. You don't want to sit there and try to look through everything, waste 3 hours when a hurricane's coming or a tsunami's coming, do you? So just a heads up, this thing's getting more intense. And if they have a real good earthquake there, I'm not sure that ridge is going to stay attached, because it's a very fragile ridge to begin with. And with the earthquakes we're having now, I don't know, folks. You best be prepared. And I don't even know if the government will warn you. Some people say, oh, they're not even going to warn you. I don't know if that's true or not. I'm pretty sure they'd say, hey, there's a tsunami coming. Get off the coast as fast as you can, because they'll be evacuating people just like they do anything like a hurricane. But they're not going to have a day or two to get people out of the way. They're only going to have a few hours. So you can't depend upon the government to get you where you need to be. So you have the plan. You have your items in hand. And make sure you have cash, gas, and your documents that are important, and your valuables, because you may lose them if there's a tsunami hits the coast. And this is getting worse. I'm not trying to scare anybody, but I would watch this very carefully. Oh, there's a nice one right there. Oh, that one went. And I can let you listen to this thing. This thing is fairly loud. Listen to this. So keep a heads up, folks. This thing could get serious, and you need to be prepared with your preps, with an evacuation plan, and everything else that goes along with that. Thanks for watching.